Oh, I'm really mad I didn't go for this quote. I'm sorry whoever said it in Twitch chat, I already lost your name, but it's like, are you not entertained? Gladiator mode, engaged, Russell Crowe, etc. Guys, this is game 2 and a best of 3 for the WCS Season 2 qualifiers for Europe. I'm Rifkin, joined by Zombie Girl, and spawning in the lower right corner of the map, from Team Liquid, the red Protoss player, MaNa.
And upper left as the blue Zerg, it is AlastOr.
You know, you can look at that strategy and be like, hey, that was really dumb. You lost, and you did a really cheesy thing. But I think, with how close that, like, can you imagine if MaNa had 1 probe instead of 3? How radically different that game would have been?
Yes.
So, I don't know, I doubt we're going to see the same... I almost guarantee we're not going to see the same thing out of AlastOr, but this is what I was talking about, guys. Like, when I first saw him against Yun, he also did, not similarly weird all-in strategies, but these very unique ways to attack a person, I guess is the best way I can describe it. So,
I would love to see it again. I'm almost like daring him to do it.
Just whisper, I'm like, yo, $50 if you can pull it off.
10 Dogecoins.
But no, it was interesting. It certainly caught MaNa off guard.
Oh,
no.
No, you're not gonna do it. I'm
okay.
honestly gonna let you.
So if you do go for a proxy hatchery, people have been arguing, like, you know, do you let this complete? Do you not let it complete? Like, what's the advantage of both? And I think a big problem is, like, a lot of people overvalue birdlings, because realistically it's about the creep taking forever to recede and block out that hatchery for a long time, or the natural for a long time. So unfortunately couldn't get it down, whether he was intending to or was just messing around. But goes for his own hatchery. King Sejong Station, by the way, huge map with a lot of avenues for attack, and I kind of feel like, well, there's a lot of areas where force fields can be really nice. There's also a lot of ways around force fields. Now, granted, they're kind of the long ways around, don't get me wrong, but I think if AlastOr can go Roach Hydra instead of flanks, I think that would be the perfect way to deal with MaNa.
He scouts that early nexus, goes for 3 hatch before a pool.
A bit greedy, but something he can certainly get away with.
Yeah.
Well, MaNa, I don't know, it's weird. His PvZ's always been solid. The thing is, I think AlastOr, I don't know, I really hope to see him more of the qualifiers if he gets knocked out here. I can certainly see this series being a little bit weighted in the favor of MaNa if that ends up being the end result, but yeah, definitely want to see more of AlastOr in the future, that's for sure. Now, as far as the mid game goes, I don't know, we've seen kind of, I want to say like almost a line drawn in the sand. There we go. Get past my words here. Where, like, we saw a lot of players use Mutalisks at the start of Heart of the Swarm because everyone was kind of like loving how good they were. Protoss players initially had trouble dealing with it, but then, like, you know, everyone's starting to realize, oh, Phoenixes are pretty good. So now we have like Roach Hydra kind of be the go-to. Like, I'd say a good 9 times out of 10 versus Protoss with Mutalisk transitions in tow. I kind of feel like if AlastOr can embrace the Mutalisk transition well enough on a map like King Sejong Station, it's going to play off really well, because this map is so frustrating to deal with. There's so much awkward dead space that even Blink Stalkers can't cover.
Embrace the inner Muta.
Yeah, pretty much. It is going to be Stargate first, though.
Ooh, that's an interesting way to wall off this map.
Is that actually a... That is! I think with the Zealot in the home position, that's a full wall off.
That's cool.
Whoa, I am... embracing, we're talking about embracing, I'm going to embrace this in the future. That's actually really cool. I didn't know you could do that. I've been the sucker who's been doing it at the front of the wall or trying to do it over here by that crevasse.
Huh. What are you doing trying to do that?
Because I don't know, it's just I got frustrated playing random.
Whoa. Banding nests.
Do you think he tears down the back rocks? Do you think AlastOr's the guy? If anyone's going to do it, it might be him. We've talked about this so much about people using these back rocks. And I think with the way he's going around the map, he's specifically trying to get there. If he knocks down the back rocks and there's no Sim City back here, he makes 4 Banleys, rolls into the natural, instant probe soup. I don't know if this is going to happen, but I really hope it does. Things are back here, but they're not chipping on the wall just yet. And you need, I think the number is way too high to break through debris with Banelings. No, it's not going to happen.
Okay. Well, I would have loved him to send like 5 back there just to like start opening the pathway in case this doesn't work, because maybe that's the way to bring you back in the game is to, like, surprise 2 Banelings.
Oh, the Mothership Course actually can scout this, but wait, there's no force fields out yet. There's actually nothing to keep the Banelings back, and normally the reason you don't see Banelings in PvZ, guys, is because force fields completely nullify them, but there's actually nothing to stop this. You can go straight for the pylon, it depowers 2 buildings, Warp Tech won't even finish. Oh my god! Now you can walk through the probes. He should graviton beam. There we go. He needs to
Graviton beam
graviton
at
beam.
least one.
Immediately spreads all the probes out. Couple of decent hits go off. If Banelings explode in the air, they should deal bonus damage to Phoenixes. Just saying. You know, light kamikaze. But Ling's in the main. More Banelings morphing in. Probes are being stacked up, and if those Banelings complete, these probes are stacked up. MaNa's not gonna like that. Not one little bit. Comes to lift up the cocoon. That's kind of neat. Didn't know you could do that, but apparently you can. The overcharge will drive this back. The wall's being reestablished, but the big thing was like, Warp Tech's also been delayed heavily behind this, so a counterattack is actually not really in the works. But killing a lot of probes so far, up to 30 dead. MaNa down to 14. What the heck? I guess, you know, AlastOr also cut a lot of probes or drones to make this happen though, so not exactly skyrocketing ahead, kind of evens up the playing field. If he gets this Nexus though, oh my god, the Phoenixes are out of energy. I think he's gonna get the Nexus.
Yeah,
he's walling off the top of the
gone.
ramp. AlastOr, you crazy guy. If there had been a Void Ray or an Oracle, maybe this looks a little bit different, but going for the Phoenix Opener, I like this. I love the Phoenix Opener, but I've never seen anyone do this to punish it, and now I have. Now we got the Robo coming down too, the Cyber Core gonna fall. This is looking really bad for MaNa. But you know what? He recovered from an irrecoverable situation before, so maybe he could try pulling this off. I don't know though. There's 3 bases for AlastOr behind this. He's droning up now. Right? That's just my brain. That's exactly what my brain is the sounds making of. There's one Stargate. That's all MaNa can produce from right now. He's got 1 warp gate. Phoenixes are trying to do a little bit of counterattack damage, but I think AlastOr may have just caught him a little bit too off guard. Jeez.
I think so. Like right now, it doesn't look like he did a lot because his supplies are still even. But in 2 minutes, AlastOr is probably gonna have skyrocketed like far above MaNa.
The Banelingness is what really makes this game. Because if that had just been like a Ling all-in, that's not hard to hold. The whole position on the Zealot was fantastic. You have time then to finish your Warp Tech and get sentries out type thing, with the Mothership Core especially, but the Banelings are what made that attack, and again, you never see Banelings PvZ. So AlastOr kind of just banking on 2 different strategies, 2 different times that MaNa's perhaps unprepared and not ready for what comes his way. The only other player I've seen use Banelings was Snoot versus Stardust, but he was doing like Bane Reigns, so that's a little bit different. But yeah, you don't see them in this matchup. But the counterattack potential here is looking a little bit scary. There are a lot of queens to defend. We saw some Miracle Queens last time, but there weren't Phoenixes to take them out of the fight.
And MaNa can do damage here. AlastOr was not banking on an attack so sudden because the army is small. So you're thinking like they've never pushed out with something small like that. I destroy it, and then well, that's why you're not quite destroying it yet. But here comes the Lings. That's all that's really needed. He gets 3 queens for his troubles, but loses all of his sentries.
Cells go down as well. Actually, if the queen does die though, there's nothing to stop the Mothership Core. Weirdly enough, just the Spore Crawlers, I guess. But yeah, out of energy now. Gonna fall back with the. I don't even. This 4 HP on that Zealot. This game, this series, this has been awesome. I hope AlastOr wins though. I want a game 3 out of these 2 more than anything else. Like there's Koreans in the bracket, and I'm not even as excited as like a game 3 between these 2 as I am versus seeing like Yoda or First or anyone else.
He has to win. I'm surprised more so that, you know, yeah, he hasn't used that Roach Warren to its fullest ability yet, but also he didn't make Banelings to take care of this. This is Zealots and Sentries.
Oh, this wall off's not complete, Zombie Grub. And it's actually out of range of the warp in.
Oh.
Normally you warp in a Zealot when this mistake happens, but Ling's gonna get right to that natural base. Nothing to defend. 3rd base might fall, but at the cost of MaNa's natural once again. Roaches need to not funnel out though. Ooh, AlastOr, be careful.
Lings are taking care of the probes back at home.
Yeah, stacking up, but...
Whoa, he actually reversed that. Probes taking care of the Lings. Whoa.
I'm surprised we didn't see him try to make a Baneling or 2 for that, actually.
Yeah, well, he didn't dance, he didn't micro at all. He let them stack and, you know, attack the stacked probes instead of, you know, jumping away and coming back. So that was a super effective hold by MaNa, and
knocking out that 3rd actually does a lot because there's only 36 drones behind this.
I can't believe AlastOr let this happen. All he needed was a few units to like hold on and then like build those roaches. Instead, he waited forever to actually make any Lings at all, and MaNa takes down a bunch of queens.
Well, these roaches are gonna do a little bit more than those Lings this time. There's a sentry or 2 up now, but there's no damage behind it. So Robo's on the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. That's a pretty good response, actually. Yeah, this is it's weird. You want to, like, in one hand, you want to look at this and be like, okay, AlastOr's dumb for, like, letting this happen. But at the same time, like, he was really trying to press his greed behind this. That third base, he knew his drone count was low. He wanted to get ahead in a big way.
It's true.
Oh, he might actually get the Stargate before the Void Ray comes out?
the Void Ray pops out.
No, no
he
way.
needs one Void Ray, and he's holding.
Yeah, Chrono Boost. If there was no Chrono Boost, this would be
whoa,
different.
actually.
Yeah, if there was no Chrono Boost, that wouldn't have gotten out. Oh my goodness, but backs away from this with the Roaches now. Will lose one more by the looks of it, but... Alright, that's the only Void Ray is the thing. Roach Hydra seems to be the weapon of choice, as he is going to go for those range upgrades, finishing up here in a sec. And finally, the Hydra's then comes into play. Was a little bit worried with how long this was taking, but again, kind of understandable because he couldn't afford it. Had spent so much on producing these units that we're unprepared for that attack. Oh, a couple Overlords going to go down for free. That kind of sucks.
This game has normalized and maybe even like MaNa taking a lead.
This is what I was saying though. MaNa's the guy who, like, in a ridiculous situation could and would come back. And it's not even like, again, AlastOr's not making bad decisions. MaNa's just playing this out pretty perfectly to a terrible situation. Like, this sounds like almost insulting to say it like this, but I feel like MaNa's like a cockroach in that way. Like, you just can't kill him. The nukes, he survives them. The roaches, not a problem. He's still in this game.
He's getting a third even. Like, what the...
Well, the Hydra's then is completed. We got 7 finally coming out here. I think he's going to skip on upgrades, though. Really needs to get those groove spines, if nothing else. Or, no, actually, you know what? On this map, muscular augments is the rare time you would want to prioritize that.
It's 16 minutes, and he's only at 55 drones.
Yeah, I think he's definitely looking all in off of what he's got.
Yeah.
That's why we don't see that further tech. Just going for brute force, raw units, doing as much of what he can. There's a Colossus coming out, though. The time is ticking. If that Colossus gets out, there's so many sentries already in play still. I don't think he can connect to it. Not without groove spines, especially.
It's so little an attack as well. Like, usually we see this attack and it's actually above, it's not like 160 or something, right? Like Roach Hydra is actually a pretty sizable army, so you can take on, like, but this is so small that even the Force Field tier with 2 Immortals can take care of it.
The Roaches are completely cleaned up. That Time Warp is dirty on top of Hydras that have no muscular augments. Is this when he considers the back door, perhaps? Or is he just going to... Yeah, he's going to retreat and go home. 4th base being taken. Again, the drone count surprisingly low. But I guess that's us being spoiled by looking at players like Snoot and Rhett and such who go for, like, massive amounts.
Well, it's an odd game, and it has normalized just to a lesser degree for like AlastOr.
I feel like it shouldn't have, though. I mean, AlastOr had that lead, and it's unfortunate that he's kind of lost that lead. But you're right. Bare minimum, at least he's not behind. Drone count, though, it's gonna. I think
he is behind, though. The supply count's not where you want to be in a PvZ. Granted, the Colossus isn't here. It's actually gonna join the fight momentarily.
Actually, with the Mothership Core going down too, there's no recall for this. Forced to fight.
Still
Force going down as well. Yeah. If he had a couple more Hydras, maybe connects to the Immortals. With the Immortals being alive, he can't make Roaches. If he could just max on Roaches, of course, that's his best case scenario. But backing away from this once again. No Corruptors. Did he even make a Spire? I think he did, right?
He did. He did. He just can't afford it. He's on 50 drones for most of the game.
Not even Corruptors. That Mutila's transition I kind of nodded at before. There's only 2 Stalkers here, 3 Sentries. That would be fantastic. But, alright, pulls into this with the drones. Colossus will fall, and the Immortals might fall shortly after. There's not a lot of Sentry energy left. Finally, we'll clean up this army, but still doesn't have a lot to fight with. MaNa's army supply, though, is kind of in the gutter at the same time.
MaNa has the economy to reproduce much better than AlastOr, though. All he needs is time, and he needs 15 seconds to get a Colossus out, and he's gonna get it.
I'm still surprised no Corruptors. He's got into this more Colossus coming behind this. There's no Protoss player who sees Hydralisks and intentionally goes, there we go, finally Corruptors, who goes like, I don't want Colossus. Like, that sounds like a bad idea. And you know what the nice thing too is, like, he doesn't need that many Corruptors. He knows MaNa's production is going to be limited from the damage he did earlier. Granted, I think he saw the 3rd base, yeah. Still, I don't imagine you would predict MaNa having 2 Robo producing at this point. Not with the way the game's going.
No. So... Okay, the problem right now is, well, AlastOr's holding and he's actually doing a pretty good job. He actually has a decent supply count now, 140 to 107. Is that Roach Hydra Corruptor is one of the... Roach Hydra is the worst composition, unless you have an overwhelming amount.
Hang on though. There's no Immortals in play.
Oh, we all died. That's right.
If he takes out the Colossus, it's just Stalkers without Blink, without upgrades versus Roach Hydra. And AlastOr could take this.
He doesn't have any sentries either.
Oh,
he has 3 sentries.
3, yeah. Oh, these Phoenixes may be picked up for free if they go into soon. He actually needs to pick these off as well. They'll distract the Corruptors.
If MaNa can hold decently, he's got this game, but AlastOr...
This is going to be tough. AlastOr's going to be able to force the fight, though, threatening the natural like this. Has to be careful, though. Those force fields.
Yeah, those force fields. Oh, they're not going to go down. There they go.
Alright, well, the Corruptors get on top of this. There's, if the Stalkers are focusing this, then the Roaches and Hydras are left somewhat unabated. Getting on top of this, again, no Immortals means no way to stop the Roaches, and there's 11 more coming up behind this. A rally across the map. Hydras and Roaches pushing these Stalkers back. Blink is on the way, but it's not here yet. If Blink was here, these Stalkers could blink to safety, but running back from the Roaches. Hydras are getting on top of the reinforcements too, and the probe line is under attack. Splitting his forces in 3 different directions, though. AlastOr really needs to focus up. He's giving MaNa chances to come back into this. I mean, his army supply is segmented so low. That's true. He's actually winning. He took out the Colossus. Good game is called. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get game number 3. Now tied up 1-1 between these exciting players. Yes! Yes! You know what, like, I kind of come out of the game screen and be all like, well, that one's expected, analytical, this and that. But the reality is, guys, that was just fantastic. That was fun. Map number 3 is going to be Overgrowth. No downtime means no commercials. We just hop right into the game. Join me if you can, zombie girl. This...